Watch the shadow of the key as it begins to slowly, visually, completely vanish. Okay, super quick, I'm going to show you a trick that uses my house key, a candle, and a playing card. And I'm going to hold the key against the playing card. Hopefully you can see the shadow there. Watch the shadow of the key as it begins to slowly, visually, completely vanish.
Ooh, today is a really, really good day. I'm here to say thank you to each and every single one of you for the unbelievable, overwhelming outpour of support and love from the entire Magic community. I've been holding this effect back literally for years, partly because it's so good, and partly because when we tried to get 9,000 units manufactured by hand, it was very difficult. So with that being said, I decided that there's no better occasion than to celebrate by sharing with you one of my favorite ever creations as just a show-in and a token of my gratitude for the thousands of all of you around the world for your love, your support, and your understanding. With that being said, this does take about 20 minutes to make, and you will need some extra additional items from the internet. This is not for the faint of heart, but what you end up with is a beautiful gimmick that allows you to have an ultra slow motion visual effect that you can carry on you anytime, anywhere in your wallet. Crack those knuckles, let's get into the build. Begin by taking a key or any object that will fit within the borders of a playing card and a playing card. And now you're going to firmly stick the key to the center of the card. Now, take an extremely sharp blade and be very careful to cut the key out perfectly. It helps if you turn it over to see any areas that haven't gone all the way through. Okay, now we have this. You'll also want to keep hold of this centerpiece for later on too. Now that you have that, you have a template of your key. Next, take a card that has a lot of white space on the front, and you're gonna flex it to break down the bonding of the glue, and then you're gonna tap it on the table in the corner, like this, just to sort of start splitting the layers. Once you can see that corner starting to open up, take the thin layer on the back side of the card and begin to split it open. A good tip is to put the two layers facing upwards and peel in a reverse C shape. And my friend Persis always tells me to not be afraid with the card, okay? So as you do it, run your finger along right close to the edge as you peel. Now you have two layers of card. Score this along the edge of a table to straighten it out. We're ready to proceed onto the last two steps. About 5 years ago, I bought this black thermochromic paint off the internet. I'll put a link in the description below to what you can find off Amazon, but this is literally as basic as it gets. I still have this bottle, so I don't think they sell these ones anymore, but you can get them wherever you are in the world, online. I take some of this paint, I take a cotton bud, so now I'm going to take the bottom two layers of card and overlay the stencil. If you want, you can tape the edges gently with some not very sticky tape just to hold this in position. Okay, I've just added some tape to my stencil just so that I can align it onto the card like this and square it into position. I'm also going to stick this centerpiece down with a tiny bit of double stick tape. Just to make sure I line up the center correctly, I'm going to drop this in there. Push it into place. Now I can take some of the thermochromic paint and lightly begin to apply it onto the card. And I want to do a thin layer of this. Now you need to leave this to dry. A good tip is to actually use a lighter to heat it up a couple of times to dry it. One tip though, my friend Jared Manley taught me this, is to make sure you keep a really big distance between the flame and the card, because otherwise the card will begin to scorch. Okay, so watch. Let's see how this is looking. keep the flame as far away from you as possible, and allow this to heat up from underneath. And you'll see that's beginning to vanish. Do this a couple of times, and then we'll do the final part of the preparation. So now you want to carefully remove this piece here, like so, and you want to remove the stencil itself as carefully as you can. Okay, now it doesn't matter if it's absolutely straight and pinpoint perfect, because when we add this layer back on top and you shine a soft light through it, being the flame, it will blur the edges naturally. So let's now apply this layer. What you're going to do is get some Elmer's rubber cement with a very thin layer, coat all around the corners and the edges and any white space that you can see on this card, and then do the same on this piece of card too. Allow these 5 minutes to dry, and we'll gently square them up and reapply them. Now that these have dried, you're going to carefully reapply them on top of each other, making sure to line everything up as perfectly as you can. A good tip to do this is to hold the card with a finger on each side to keep it nice and square, and then begin to slowly try to line everything up as best you can. And there we have our gimmick. If you really want to, you can place this in a book or a press for 24 hours to really straighten it out. But for now, we can go and learn how to perform the effect. For this, I'm in a dark room, but I'm using a key, I hope you can all see that, and a playing card, okay, just like this. I also need to use one more thing, and that thing is a lighter. Watch what happens. Hopefully you can all see the key in the card there. If I light, you can see straight through the card. Watch the key as it begins to visually vanish, just like that. If you would like to win this actual gimmick that I've made in today's video, then all you need to do is make sure you're subscribed to the channel and drop a comment down below. If you can make me laugh, even better, but a winner will be chosen at random in the next tutorial, and I will send this to you for free, including a special little goodie anywhere you are in the world. I was trying to be cool. I can't be cool. I'm not cool. So this is your gimmick. The tricky thing is it's very hard with all the studio lights to show it. So I'm just going to turn off maybe the lamp and the front spotlight. And now you can see the key. Just know that in real life, this is a lot more visible. But just so you can see, that's where it is. And what I'm going to do is actually show you the handling of the routine, and then we'll come back to show the visual at work. But it's really, really simple. You have a card, you can keep this in your wallet. This doesn't need to come from a deck of cards. And you have your house key. Now what you can do is go and get another key cut. So if you want to, you can load this key or any other object that can fit within the card, like a stencil, like a ring pull or a coin. You can load that duplicate object anywhere you want. And then you can start like this. You can bring out your key, take it off your keychain, bring out the card from your wallet. And now what you're going to do is pretend to place the key under the card. Now, if you use a card like the Seven of Hearts, then you can use it to help you remember the orientation of the shadow. So in this case, the shadow of the key is up here. The head of the key is at the top part of the card, which is where the heart is. So I know that this is the same orientation as the gaff. So all I can do is a couple of different things. I can hand the key out, and as it comes back to me, I can ditch it in my pocket as I give them this to focus on. Or I can pretend to place the key under the card like this, and as soon as I show the light, it sort of proves to them that it's under the card because they can still see the shadow. Or I can do some sort of false transfer, and anything I want. Any way that makes you comfortable, you can pretend to load the key under. The thing is, because they see that shadow, they drop their guard. They really think the key is still there. Now the nice part of this is you have motivation to go to your pocket, because you're going to pretend to take the key and place it under the card. Now you reach into your pocket with the key in your hand to take out the lighter, and at the same time you drop the key off in your pocket. So now you have the gimmick and a lighter. And this is the part where I need to dim the lights again. I'll try and do all this like so so you can see the key. And now if I heat it up, you'll see it begin to visually vanish from the card. Because I'm juggling holding the phone and figuring the light in, it's a bit trickier, but refer back to the opening video to get a really good representation of how this looks in the real world when your hands only have a card and a lighter in. Now, once the key's vanished visually from underneath the card, you're going to then make the key reappear. At this point, it's important to note, if you just make an object vanish, the people will look for the object. They'll be thinking, where did it go? How is it hidden? The card will be suspicious. But if you have the key reappear somewhere, even if you load it under someone's watch, which would be pretty cool, then all the attention goes to the key, and it's suddenly not where is the key, so what should I look for as the suspicious thing? It's suddenly how did that happen? And in that time, if you had another 7 of hearts in your pocket or in your wallet, if you direct their attention to revealing the key, it gives you all the misdirection in the world to either drop this in your pocket and bring out a duplicate, or put it into a Z Fold wallet. Anything you want to switch this out if you really want to. And the thing I'll say is that if you are going to switch this, do the vanish, make the key reappear, and put it in your pocket. Don't say anything. Don't rush to take the other one out if you don't need to. And if they say, can I see that card again? It'd be good if you have a duplicate with maybe a small scorch mark on it, and, and you act as if it's an afterthought, like, oh yeah, of course, and just toss out the duplicate, because to them, or to you at least, it should feel like it's completely unimportant. And if you think it's unimportant and it's almost like you put it away just to tidy up, then they don't put as much heat into it as they should do. And there's a bunch of other things you can do. If you have one of these in your wallet and you have a duplicate, you could put 2 tears, identical tears. You can hold them together, tear both corners off, rough them up a little bit so it looks like it's been in there for ages, and just those extra little layers of convincers on top that it's the same, or is the same card that you used. The thing I'll say is that if professionals want to use this, it's a great way to finish a coin matrix style effect, or shadow coins, where you take a card and 4 cards and 4 coins, you place a card over each coin. Well, with this one now, for the final phase, you can introduce a tea candle, which is really nice framing. You can then, for the final coin, say, watch the final coin go visually. You can preload it ahead of time, pretend to place it under the card, hold both and over the candle so they can see the silhouette. They watch it vanish and melt away. You show your hands empty and now reveal the final coin under the card, and you have an ultra visual ending to a really beautiful routine. Alright, I hope you all enjoyed today's tutorial. If you want to show your support and you like the other things that I teach on YouTube, then you might want to consider heading over to patreon.com/LloydB, where if you join up as a full member, you'll get access to over 25 of my most exclusive best tricks that will never be taught anywhere else. There's also an active Discord community with hundreds of members where I post in every single day. So I hope to see you over there, but if not, I hope you enjoy watching the rest of the content on my channel. Peace.